Hi, everybody, and welcome to We Won't Go Back. I'm Deb, and sitting here with Beth and Stephanie, and we're going to keep pounding this so nobody forgets. We have only done 2 shows, but we were talking before the show. It kind of seems like we're, you know, hounding people about this. But in 2 weeks, you know, people are already forgetting. And what was it you said, Beth?
Which thing? I just feel like the nation's already not. There's still protesters in D.C. Those are the hardcore, but it feels like everybody's just kind of accepting it now and moving on. And this is our rights. We can't just accept it. Did the pilgrims just accept? Did the slavery just accept? No, they fought. They fought. Did the women's right for vote just say, oh, well, it's not going to work. Let's go back in the kitchen and stay barefoot and pregnant.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no.
So we got to fight. I know that people have to work. I know that they can't always go out and march. But we can do stuff like this, and we can keep the conversation going.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, our nation, sadly, is getting to the point where is it even safe to go march anymore?
Well, I still do it, but yeah.
Right, but
because I'm not going to let them stop me, damn it.
As days go by, there's more and more shootings everywhere.
Exactly.
So, that's a little bit, but I'm so glad that Madison was with us last week because, we can all now, anytime we think, we shouldn't do this anymore, we shouldn't speak out on this anymore, we can think of that sweet little face. That's who we're doing it for.
Yep.
All of these young people and, young women. We had mothers and grandmothers fight for our rights.
Yes. Let's not let that go to waste.
We cannot give up on the youth today and say, well, whatever the states decide. Right?
Yes.
They need us.
That's true for a lot of things, but this is the core right now. But it's true for clean water. It's true to global warming. It's true for all those things that we got to keep fighting.
Right.
Sorry, we're the grandmothers. We got to do it.
Right. And who has bigger voices than us?
Who has bigger mouth than me? I don't know.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. But there's so many people out there that are doing their part and getting information out and protesting, like you said, and
vote, call your congressman, call your senators.
Yeah.
Write them. If you don't want to call email.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Email's real simple.
Put your thoughts on Facebook. I know it can cause controversy, but you know what? We got to stop being silent.
Yeah.
So Dan had the good idea too to tag and hashtag Dana Nessel and Betsy Coffia and all these people because they get alerts every time they're in a hashtag. So if we throw them on there, then maybe they'll get that alert and they can at the very least share or,
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. And that's a super, super idea.
Mm-hmm.
And now we really have to focus on the state level. Everybody has to focus on their own state.
Mm-hmm.
And, because it's been put in the state's hands.
Yeah, I know that Biden is thinking about calling it, and I was looking it up, emergency health for women. And I guess if he called it a national emergency health crisis, then they couldn't be charged for going to another state. I'm let me look it up while you guys talk.
And, the crazy thing is, especially with it going state to state, is every state's going to have their own laws.
Right. That's why he wanted to do a national.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's going to get so confusing.
Yeah.
Oh, it already is. There's did you see the story about the lady that got pulled over for being in the more than one passenger lane? And she's claiming she's got a baby inside of her. So there's two people. That's what the Supreme Court said. There's two people. She should not be ticketed.
I love it.
Yeah.
So she's fighting it.
Good.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. Yeah, our Supreme Court's going a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Or a lot crazy. So while you're looking that up, I'm going to see if I can share this. Okay, here we go. So I don't know how well people can see this, but
it looks pretty clear to me.
Does it? Okay, it's small for me, but I'm old and my eyes don't work well. So the really dark states are the ones that are banned or mostly banned. And then the little bit lighter states will be banned. The brown states likely to ban, if that's the right color. I'm colorblind too. And then the like white, and that's where Michigan is. It's legal for now. And then the whatever color that I think it's like a lavender.
Yeah.
Legal and likely to be protected. So, I mean, there's a lot of states that are banned or at least have a lot of limits on them.
I'm going to go to our tech person. Steph, for some reason, my phone is not getting internet. Could you look up what it means for Biden to declare a national women's health crisis? What that would mean? Thank you.
Stephanie's so good at that. She's so quick. It takes me.
She's quick.
To type it in.
I know. Have you ever seen her? She like just does a swoop thing.
How do you do that?
Hey, Melinda. How are you? Deb, you're getting techie, it says.
Melinda.
Look at that. You're getting techie, see?
I'm getting techie. Oh, with sharing the screen? Yeah. So I did invite Melinda to come on and show her beautiful face. And this, you guys have met Melinda, and you know she's got a voice. So, Melinda, you're more than welcome to use that link I gave you. Put you in the studio.
You'll appear right down there, and we'll see your face. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
So it looks like it wasn't approved. They kind of backed off.
Yeah, they're I think they're just
declaring it.
Yeah,
because it says here that it wouldn't free very many resources, and it doesn't release a significant amount of legal authority. So they're kind of tabling it for now. Okay. But at least there's an option.
It's not specific about what it would do, huh?
Now, let me see.
I'm getting tired of all these things getting done that really have little or no meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's all it is.
You got to do something, but I mean, that's true with the gun stuff too. You know, we won't get into that, but
yeah,
it's all more for, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a safety bill signed today, right?
Yeah. Did you see where Cavendish had to sneak out of the steakhouse because there was protesters there?
Love you too, man.
Poor little guy. He had to sneak out of the steakhouse because there was big bad protesters with, paper signs.
Right.
If you're in the public office, expect that. You don't know it's not good to have violence. No violence.
Right.
Nothing like that. But there's allowed to be protesters. Sorry.
Right. And, that's been going on forever. We still need to be able to protest.
Right.
It's scary out there. Like I said earlier, I almost hate to tell people go protest because...
though, I've never felt all the many protests I've been to, I've never felt scared.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any. Well, other than Standing Rock, but I mean, like
Right. But
marching.
do you think that a 4th of July parade, people were scared?
No, wasn't that horrible?
No. Yeah.
Do you think in school
No.
it's getting insane out there?
I
It
know.
really is. So,
But I can't live in fear, and I can't stop. They win then. If I don't go protest because I'm afraid,
well,
then they win.
but I'm saying we can still continue. We have to keep acting. Melinda's down for a protest.
Yeah, Melinda, let's go.
That's fine.
Let's go stop DC. I want to just squeal it to a stop. Squeal it. They can't do anything, and we're just like Sri Lanka's doing right now.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka took over the presidential palace. They are swimming in his pool. I mean, it's such a corrupt government over there. He's going to step down now. And if you see the pictures of hundreds of thousands of people just stopping anything from happening until they get what they want, that's what we need to do. Sorry, but it is.
Well, I mean, it is important, and I'm not saying not to.
I know you're not.
I'm erring on the side of caution for people doing any kind of public gathering right now.
Oh, Shauna.
There's beautiful little Mama Shauna. We love you, girl.
And did I take it off? I meant to put it
Yeah,
on.
that's all right.
You already had it on.
That's okay. But we can still do things. We can continue writing all of our, state people. Like
if
I said,
if you can march, if you can show up, do it. But if you can't, do other things.
Right. Write those letters, make those phone calls, write letters to the White House, write letters to the Supreme Court, do all of that.
And vote.
And
vote.
Yeah, that number one is vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say you were saying not to protest. I just, all that anger came out from them wanting to stop me.
Right. Yeah.
So,
well, and that's what this show is all about. We're not, all women are banding together.
Right.
Most women. They're not going to be able to stop it.
Mm-mm.
Sooner or later, our voices will be heard and our rights will be back. And I don't remember what show it was now, but someone had mentioned, I think it was the first one, that even though, Roe versus Wade went through in 1973, women still did not have equal rights.
No way. Nope.
So this is going to push us even more.
Let's push us to get it all this time.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Yeah, I never even understood it, even as a little girl growing up. I don't know how you guys felt, but when I heard things like, a girl can't do that, or I remember I was sitting on the floor playing with blocks or something. I must have been really little. And one of Mom's friends said, and what do you want to be when you grow up? And I looked at her and said, a doctor. And they said, oh, honey, you mean a nurse. And my mom said, she can be a doctor if she wants to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I remember it, because Mom had such a strong reaction,
I love it. Good for her.
Yeah. Oh, she had her sexism from her era,
Sure.
Find a man that has money, marry him. It's more important for your brother to go to college. Yeah, all that stuff. And I know it was from that era, that time era, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, back when we were young was totally different than when Stephanie was young. Mm-hmm. But I can almost guarantee you that Stephanie can give some examples of that same kind of sexism.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not anything that will unfortunately ever go away. Obviously, I think with each generation, it gets a tiny bit better. so I'm hoping that with Madison, like she was saying at school, she's never at school, she's never been told, oh no, girls can't do that, or girls shouldn't be interested in that, or anything like that. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, that
But
was
my parents were very big into, you can do whatever you want, especially my dad. You can do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter. Like, gender didn't even play into it whatsoever. So I was very lucky in that respect. And I had, I was pretty intelligent, and so I had more opportunities for me than, most people did. I didn't do anything with them, but I had them. Um, but um, so, I was pretty lucky, but I know that not everyone has those same
right.
experiences.
Right. Yeah, and I think I don't know. You can tell me if it's changed. From my workforce years, it didn't change. Are men as often sexually? I don't want to say insult. Well, it is insulted at the workplace as much as women. I mean, I think every job I ever went to, I had some kind of sexual pressure put on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if that still is happening, or if men are experiencing the same thing now as women, or have the laws helped at all about that? I don't know, because I'm not in the, and I was self-employed for so long that I didn't sexually myself. So
I don't necessarily think it's laws that are changing it. I think it's women are finally able to speak out, and there's still retribution, but it's not as bad as it is. And if they speak out and then there is retribution, then they have further steps they can take. So I think that has changed a lot, as far as how things are handled. I mean, it's still there, but I think women are finally, and this is only in the past few years, finally feeling that strength to be able to speak up and say, no, this isn't right. This isn't how this is going to go anymore. And I think that's probably the most threatening thing to the men who do this.
but I think there has been a lot of policy changes at jobs, because they've had like education on how you shouldn't say honey or sweetie or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or inappropriately touch. And so I didn't know if that was actual laws or just company policies that are changing. But anyway,
I think it's just policy, and I think it is because women are starting to stand up and say, no, we're not going to put up with this anymore. Yes, you've been doing this for 50 years, and we've been pissed off about it for 50 years, but we haven't been able to do anything until now.
the movie 9 to 5 helped.
Oh, geez. I don't even remember. I mean, I remember the movie, but I don't remember.
Oh yeah, they took their boss and kidnapped him, and because of how bad he was treating them, the pressure he was putting on them and everything. So
Yeah.
Dolly Parton, was it Jane Fonda?
Mm-hmm.
Lily Tomlin. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Also,
and Nancy says too, women know their worth now.
Right.
And they're standing up.
That's
I
for sure.
think that makes more difference than anything.
Right.
When we were young, and sorry, Stephanie, but it was a little more than 50 years. And this has been going on for hundreds of years.
Oh, yeah.
So we were taught that's to be expected.
Pretty much that we were second-class citizens.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, that's how men are. You deal with it.
We weren't as worthy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Another funny thing that is happening is women are starting to say that as soon as they find out they're pregnant, they're going to apply for what do you call it? Support.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would work, because they would have to do a DNA and in vitro. But maybe the government has to pick it up then, because until they know who the daddy is, then this is a human that needs taken care of and needs food and needs all this stuff. So hey, I should be able to get benefits. I should be able to get some kind of support. So some of it's backfiring. Hi, Howie.
Hi, Howie.
A bit on them. So interesting to see all those things that may be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's times are different, but I'll tell you, you still see a lot of it. More than there should be.
Yeah.
So I think another thing important to talk about is the depression we all might be feeling from this. I know I have. How are you guys feeling?
It's been hard. I mean, the day that the overturn happened, I knew there was going to be protests and rallies the next day. So I was talking to my friend, and she wanted some shirts made. So she came to my work to drop off some shirts, and she got there, and we just hugged and we just bawled and bawled and bawled and bawled for about 5 minutes before either one of us could even say anything. We didn't even say anything to each other. We just sat there and held each other and cried because it just felt hopeless that in this day and age something like this could happen.
Right.
And it's been really hard to wrap my head around that, to wrap my head around the fact that things like this are still happening and they shouldn't be. And 9 people shouldn't have that much power over the entire country. And
in the legal sense, we don't have our say about our body.
Right.
Our own body.
Right. Yeah. It's I agree. It's very depressing. Very depressing. I can see it big time in Stephanie's generation because, us older women actually kind of went through it. So, but now it's like, oh my God, how could that happen? It's like us trying to comprehend World War One. You can't. You guys can't really comprehend pre-Roe versus Wade and what went on.
Yes, Howie, you can comment what you'd like to comment.
Yeah, and Howie, if you want the link to come on here and talk with us, I'll send it to you right now, my buddy.
And Stephanie, I can really relate to what you're saying about a male teacher saying something. I don't know if I've told this story before, but we were in, I think it was civics class, and my male teacher was trying to make a point about Nazism and stuff, and that you would have communism, that you would have no say. And he pointed out to me, it's like Beth would be a childbearer. She has the body for childbearing. So she would be, but a kid, it devastated me. I don't think he meant to.
Right.
But I have
carried used to that.
That's that, and then I realized like that's how I'm seen. You know what I mean? I don't think it was the proper thing for him to do. I'm sorry.
No.
I get that he was trying to make a point, but he could have made it a different way.
Darn it, Howie.
I would love to.
He's at work. I sent him the link, so maybe next time.
Can he type it out? Oh, here it is.
Well,
the theory of population. I know, right? Right?
Yeah. It's definitely population control. And I've said from the beginning, Howie, and everybody else, this is way bigger and way more than we're going to reverse Roe versus Wade. We are going to take control. We're going to show you we have the power.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Not only are we going to take this away, we're going to take contraceptives. We're going to take gay marriage. We're going to take everything that we can. We're going to show you little people that us little minority, this little group of people can control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think what Howie was getting at, though, was like in terms of the population of the world, 7.8 billion people on the world.
We have
And
starving children in this world. Why
now
are we
all of a sudden we're going to have forced births. And what's that going to do?
Right.
Why aren't the people of the United States that are for this more concerned about people in Sri Lanka right now? They don't have food. They don't have gas. They're starving to death. Those lives aren't important.
No, because they're not little white babies.
They're not little cells. That's all they're talking about. Little white cells.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what they want to. Yeah. They want lots of those little white babies running around.
And maybe that's part of it. They're so fearful that they aren't going to be the white supreme beings anymore, because there's so many different cultures and and colors and nations, and that
it's almost like they're scared of how minorities are treated.
Yeah.
They're afraid of how minorities are fighting back.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've always heard, even when we were young, Deb, we heard that all the old white men need to die. That's what's still going on, kind of. And I don't want them to die. Don't get me wrong.
But it's the old white men saying everybody else has to.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that I want old white men to die. I'm married to one. Well, no, I guess I'm not married to one. But anyway, I was. But my point is, we're still feeling that. Because they still have that iron grip, and the iron grip is slipping, I feel. And that's what's so scary to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women are speaking up. Oh my goodness. We have a voice.
Well, I mean, we're being put in our place.
Yeah.
And it's up to us. And, all of us are the majority.
Right.
I remember, 10 years ago, protesting and carrying we are the 99%.
Right.
And we are.
Wait a minute. If we are really put in our place, then we are queens and goddesses. That's our place.
That's our place.
That's our place. Put us in our place.
Right.
That's where we belong.
And we can make things better.
Right. Yeah, give us a chance. Yeah. You guys have screwed things up royally.
Royally. Yeah. This is not what it's about.
But the vote that caused a lot of this was a white woman. So
yeah,
they couldn't wait to get her in there, and she had no business being on the Supreme Court.
Right. Yeah, and we all know, there are some women who truly are for this. But you have to kind of wonder what kind of thumb they're under.
Exactly. Right. Or how they've been raised, or what their fear level is. I don't know.
Right, Nancy.
Yeah.
Yep. And Howie agreed.
Agreed in big letters.
You're not one of those old white men, Howie. You're cool.
No, we want you around, Howie. So we're talking about the man. The one that holds us down.
She did not have the qualification. He's talking about the woman on the Supreme Court.
Exactly.
To do with race. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or sex. Yeah. I mean, we were set up. We know that.
Yeah. We saw it coming.
By the prior administration. And, they're pulling out all the guns and fighting all they can. Okay, let's see what Nancy has to say. And it's not about grooming the children. It's other children talking about their sexual preference. That's how my granddaughters learned. Okay.
I'm confused.
And, I'm going to get on a spiritual soapbox for a minute.
Okay. You go, girl.
Because the whole gender thing does not belong on this show, but it does. It truly does, because that is a right that they're trying to abolish. And, getting rid of the gays and the trans and on a spiritual level, we are evolving. That's all there is to it. We
Right.
are evolving. And gender and all of the
Mhm.
old bullshit doesn't have a spot in our spiritual evolution.
Right.
The soul is not gender. And those who can truly seek and find who they are, and some of these people are doing it at 10 years old
Mm-hmm.
instead of 50, like, it has been forever. Um, they are more enlightened beings.
Right.
They are the higher vibrational beings. Our planet's been kind of taken over, or by star seeds, by indigos, by these so many who have been diagnosed with ASD, autism spectrum disorder, and the normals are saying we have to fix them, and that's not the case. They are simply a higher vibrational being,
Mm-hmm.
more spiritually evolved. And I see somebody who says, you know what, I've never felt like I should be in this body. I don't like my body. I don't like having breast here. I see that as a more evolved spiritual person because they know who they truly are, and who they truly are is that soul person, not that physical body.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll try to shut up. I'll try to shut up.
Nobody wants to hear that maybe we don't. I'm not saying that sex goes away, but maybe when we vibrate at a higher level, maybe it's more of an entwinement. I don't know. I'm not there yet. But maybe that becomes less important, or it's more like the soul connection that's more important than what you have downstairs or upstairs or wherever.
Right, right. And really, what you have downstairs does not say who or what you are. That's a physical
Right.
part of you.
Right.
That's not the soul. That's not the heart. That's not who we are.
Hi, Nicole.
Boy, we're kind of. Hi, Nicole. I'm going to be on her show next week, I think it
All
is.
right.
So we'll
Cool.
have to have her on here sometime.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, so Stephanie says Becca's getting into or going into genetics and has studied it scientifically. It's a spectrum. I think she's talking about autism.
No, I
Or,
think she's talking about sex.
Yeah, I
okay,
do too, because it's not.
but is sex and gender the same thing? I
No.
say no.
Oh, no.
It's not as
No.
plain as X and Y.
Right.
Stephanie Bennett, no. Okay, so Stephanie, tell us what you're talking about.
Which thing are you writing about?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense to me if we evolve that we just love who we love. It doesn't, it shouldn't matter what they have upstairs or downstairs. It's the
Exactly.
person, it's the soul that you're loving, it's
Mm-hmm.
the connection. It's not, if you're vibrating at the higher level instead of that animal level, then all the rest falls away, right?
Right, right. And even if you guys know I've had dogs forever, and dogs are gay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You
They
know,
like to
my
show that
female
dominance.
dogs, my
Even if you
male
clip
dogs,
their hoo-has, they still
yeah, they don't care. I mean,
ask Banjo.
okay, so she's going to
That
ask.
sounds like a show.
Okay,
Ask Banjo.
thank you,
That's
Steph.
right. Ask Banjo how he feels about these sons of bitches.
And this could be a whole show on itself. But is it intertwined? I think it is, because the way I see this, when I say that this isn't about abortion, even though
It is,
sex
but it
abortion,
isn't. Yeah.
it is about trying to alter all of that.
I
You
think
know,
it's about control. Do you think?
it's
Like,
control, and the fact that so many people are realizing that gender isn't who we are.
mhm.
Um, and being a more evolved person, now we're getting that's scary to these old white men,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah, and then you bring in religion, and people get over it. Get
yeah,
over it. There was all kinds of things in the Bible if you really want to go by that book.
right,
But if you're going to, you have to go by it all. You don't get to go by the part you want to go by.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, church and state should be separate, damn it.
yeah, it
Because
shouldn't.
whose church are you going with? Which one?
Exactly, exactly, and we know which one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and really, it shouldn't have um, anything to do with it.
No, nothing.
How anybody believes should have nothing to do with the law or rights.
And who was one of the worst offenders
Word for it, Nicole.
of it? Priests,
Yeah,
ministers,
yeah.
molestations,
I was raised
little
Catholic,
boys, all that.
so yeah,
So hypocrite much?
right, right.
Maybe I should say what I really feel.
Don't hold
And
back,
you
Beth.
know, we all know, most of us know as women, and we know other women. We know women who are saying, "Yay! Roe versus Wade is gone, and you know, we're going to save the babies." Many of these women, some I know personally, have had abortions,
Right.
Yep.
but they don't talk about it.
No.
Right.
But it's okay for them to have done it. But
Right.
That was a
Look at
special
you right now.
circumstance.
Mhm.
What's that?
There's always a special
Yeah.
circumstance.
Right.
Well, I regret it, and I don't want you to go through that. That's not your choice. It's
Yeah.
not your choice.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what the reason is. And most women are not going to just go get an abortion just for the hell of it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
But even if that were the case, that's not for us to say.
No.
And it's kind of like everybody puts out those, if you don't like gay marriage, don't do it. If you don't like smoking, don't do it. If you don't like abortions, don't have one. That's where we're at, It's
Okay, this is something I've been thinking about, especially since that 10-year-old had to leave Ohio
uh,
to go get an abortion. How is that not keeping her pregnant? How is that not child abuse?
It
How
is.
do we not
Could be.
charge the state with child abuse of trying to keep her pregnant? That's
Child
child
endangerment.
abuse.
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
I think it's
Yeah.
time for lawsuits like that.
I do too, because she could have easily died
Mm-hmm.
trying to get to another state. I mean, luckily, there were other states for her to get to. And
But
a
what
year
about in a few months when there might not be that opportunity?
right,
Right.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, Nicole.
what do we do with the rape victims? What do we do when they have a child that they can't mentally care for because of the trauma? What happens to that child? In the system?
Yep.
And who's
Right.
going to take care of all the crack babies? I'm sorry, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, and many people that know me know that I did foster care for many, many years,
Mm-hmm.
mostly for drug addicted babies.
But there's not 10,000 of you out there.
No.
No.
And, I've been begging for years people to become foster parents. We are
Right.
there's so many children out there that need a safe home. Some of the foster cares aren't real safe.
Right.
And everybody's saying, oh, well, adopt. And it's not that easy. Adopting is very, very expensive. But if you do foster care first, it makes a world of difference. Plus, you get to see how compatible you are and they are with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Yeah, I beg people,
which
please.
is hard too, because if you bring a child into your home, it doesn't work out. Here, once again, they've had rejection.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Well, when you do, I did foster care for the state, and when a child is placed, it's always with the understanding that the number one thing you're doing is working toward getting them back with their family.
Right.
So even though you fall in love right away, you have to take them knowing that the odds of them staying aren't always great.
Okay, so Stephanie's back. She says some
Yeah.
people have 3 or 4 sex chromosomes, and each chromosome is made up of genes, and each gene can have a different mutation that can affect how you process or register hormones. Okay.
So it's not just black and white, male,
No.
female.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of black and white, excuse me for a moment because I have to go turn a light on.
Okay.
It's starting to get really cloudy and dark here.
I know.
I'm going to disappear. So
I'm hoping for rain so I don't have to water. But yeah. It's called laziness. Yeah, so we have a friend that comes on here sometime, and I don't think she would mind us saying Roberta. And she's just now getting her sex change at 67. I think 60. Let's see, she's 3 years older than me, 68. And I'm just so proud of her for that. Most people say, "Oh, forget it." I don't.
Right.
And I mean, I'd say that most people would say that after 40 or 50. So it's not a reflection of her being 68, but well, it kind of is. But also the VA is paying for it.
Wow, that's great.
How cool is that? And who would have ever thought we would get to that point?
Right.
That's awesome.
Let there be light.
You just want to be on that side.
We swapped.
So yeah, if Roberta watches this later, I'm so proud of her for sticking to it and having it, and finally having the body that she wants.
Mm-hmm.
At 68, that's hard,
It's very hard. And we have to really think about how hard all those previous years had to have been.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, she hasn't said it, but their lease is being renewed, and it makes you wonder if it isn't due to, because she doesn't know why it's not being renewed, and she's almost homeless. She's going to be homeless if she doesn't find something soon.
Oh boy!
And she's a veteran, and like I said, VA is helping her get the hormones and the operation, but I just feel like there could be a prejudice in this situation, especially since they're not disclosing why they're not renewing the lease.
Yeah.
Right. And some of our laws are still really sucky when it comes to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every state
discrimination.
Yeah. The wording with some of them, you can still discriminate in so many ways. Okay, I'm going to put up. Whoop.
Oh, sorry. We did it at the same time, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Okay. You want to read that, Beth? My eyes are getting.
This is maybe I can put my glasses on. My mom's friend also did foster care and ended up adopting a daughter, called her my name. My dad and grandma were both adopted. Wait a minute. I'm not. Okay, my mom's friend also. Oh, Nicole, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm taking it. That's wonderful. Yeah. That's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Absolutely.
And your dad and grandma were both adopted.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But again,
nothing wrong with staying pregnant and having the baby and putting out. We are saying that's great that you would have the choice.
Right.
But that's what it is. Choice.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got someone at the store.
Okay.
We're closed. Sorry, hold on.
Yeah. So how was Madison after the show? Was she glad she did it?
Yeah, she was very glad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, it's something she can look back on too.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime she wants to, or show it to her friends or whatever. So
I think a lot of teenagers maybe feel like they don't have a voice. They can't vote. They can't do things like that. So I think giving them that opportunity, to be on shows like this or to go to rallies and protests, I think is important so that they don't lose hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did a show with all of our granddaughters a couple years ago, and they just loved it. They loved being able that we were asking them adult questions and wanting to know their opinions about different issues, and it was, and then that they got to say things. Their parents were listening, but they got to say things that they didn't have to worry somebody was going to say something back, or you know what I mean.
Yep, it's their world. We need to listen to how they want their world to be.
Exactly.
We can't force them into these boxes based on what we think they should be. We need to listen to them about how they want their world to be.
Right, because we're not against people staying at home and being on. I wish I could have been a stay-home mom, or any of that. We're not. We're glad. We just want everybody to have the choice.
Yes, that's all it is choice.
From work to not working to having a baby or not being able to. And I just don't know what they think they're going to do with these families that are already stretched thin financially, and they're going to bring another child in, and not fair to the other children as well.
No.
Why don't we think about the children that are already here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And it is scary to think we're headed towards what is it? Handmaid's Tale. Because there is actually people, I watch way too much YouTube, but there's actually YouTubers on there saying, "Yep, that's what that's what our goal is, to get back to there." They say it right out.
Yeah.
They really want us like cattle. There's that extremism out there. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think probably because they know they'll be the Serena Joy and they won't be Offred. Those are the ones who are okay with it being like
But it was more the men. They get to be the ones having the mistresses, right, with their wife right there. Yeah. It's a hard subject, but I think we have to keep talking about it and keeping it forefront. There's so much other noise out there right now, and all the other noise is valid. It's just that we can't get lost in the noise.
Right.
We can't let this issue get lost in the noise.
I think there's just so much going on all the time that it's hard to stay focused, on one thing, no matter how important that one thing is, because there's 100 important things happening right now.
And a lot of it is offshoots. We're not just talking about having Roe versus Wade overturned. We're talking that the Supreme Court obviously needs changed somehow. That maybe term limits on politicians, being able to overturn already laws that are already put into effect that weren't supposed to be able to ever be overturned. There has to be safeguards put in there for the next law that's made. So it's not just like one issue. It's all these. And then, of course, if the floodgates are open, like Deb was saying, transgender gets brought in and gay marriages gets brought in and contraceptives will get brought in, the day after pill. They said that what state's not giving rape victims the day after injection or whatever it is?
I'm not sure.
It was one of the states that have already stopped giving that when a rape victim comes into the hospital. They don't even give them that now because they're afraid of legal whatever. To hell with my patient who went through this trauma and now may have
so far nothing, no states have banned it yet. There's been a few that have, there's been rumors of them possibly trying, but nothing
Has
has
any
been banned
hospital stopped
yet.
giving it, or was that a false flag?
Nothing that I've seen says that.
I saw it, and I can't tell you where, so I'm not going to say it's absolutely true.
I saw the other day that there are now vending machines for Plan B, which is cool. Good. Yeah, for a low-cost Plan B vending machines. Looks like a lot of universities are putting them up.
There's some places that say we should be buying those up in case they do ban them.
I know, and they were on sale on Amazon for a while at a low price, so it's good to have them on hand because,
who knows?
I mean, obviously, even if you don't need them, you might know someone who does.
Right. But soon, will they be illegal to have?
As of right now, no.
Right.
Well, I don't give a shit. I will have them.
Yeah.
And I don't need them for me. I will have them for others.
Right.
So,
right.
You know what? I'm 65. You want to put my ass in jail? Okay, I'll be the martyr. I'll be whatever. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Better
yeah,
than
and that's the thing is, we aren't faced with this for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We're faced with it for our youth, our kids and our grandkids and everybody else.
Exactly.
And boy, do I agree with Stephanie.
Yeah, they seem to be their own entity who has nobody overseeing them, and that shouldn't have ever been a thing.
Oh, right. Jenny Thomas is overseeing them.
Oh yeah, that's
who's overseeing them.
I feel like one of the judge's wives shouldn't be in charge of it.
Nope.
That seems kind of crazy.
Especially since she's a conspiracy nut and a Trump.
Dan and I couldn't even work at the same store together because we were dating.
Yeah.
Like,
how does a Supreme Court judge have a wife that's on the committee to reelect Trump? How does that work?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and in the White House, it was all family. So,
yeah,
she's all emailing during the January 6th to say, "Go, baby, go."
Right.
What? How did we get here? How did we get here?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Doesn't it seem so surreal? Because, when we were young, we started gaining rights, and women kept fighting, and people of color kept fighting, and indigenous people kept fighting, and we were all getting there. And then, boom.
We can blame, I'm sorry, the last presidency, but it was already seething underneath before. He just brought it out and allowed it to be brought out. Sorry, I'm getting political. Too bad.
Well, yeah, that whole administration made being a white supremacist cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people didn't have to hide anymore.
Right. So not only did those who were already that way come out, but now we have, millions more.
And gave them that superiority back, that I'm superior.
Right. And why does anybody have to be superior?
I got my little red hat on. That means I'm superior.
Yeah.
So can Congress make, Stephanie, they can do a federal law, which is being talked about. Lord knows why it wasn't done right away. I don't get it. I think it's because we have those two people that say they're Democrat, but they're Republicans, really. Manchin and Sinema. And we don't have the votes because of them. So we may have to wait till the next That's why vote. Go out and vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important. It's so important. And sadly, yes, I agree with this comment as well. This is a political issue.
Yeah.
It should
Absolutely.
not be. It should not be political. It should not be religious. People should simply have the right to their own body.
Yeah. Why is my uterus your issue?
Right.
Why does it get to be your issue? Why do you get to have opinion about my uterus?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they don't.
Am I crazy, or does that not make sense at all?
I can't wrap my head around it.
I know.
It doesn't make sense to me. Not even a little right. Stephanie also says it's a human rights issue, and it is.
It is.
Across the board, across the planet. But yeah.
Do you know how dumb we look to other countries?
Right.
I don't know. England's not doing so good right now either, so we're fine.
Well, yeah, they're getting rid of him.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's more like him.
Do that.
And you know what the scary part is? He's American, so he could be president. He was born in New
American?
York. He was born in New York.
Oh, Lord.
Yep. How's that for terrifying?
I don't know. Would we take him over the guy from Florida? I can't think of his name.
DeSantis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be. He's supposed to be Trump's replacement.
Oh, good.
Oh, people, please vote. You know, and this is I've never
women.
I have never been one way or the other. You know, politically, it's
Right.
always been about, you know, who's doing the best and who I agree with and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been forced. And honest to goodness, if we don't bring this back,
Right.
human rights will be gone.
Yep.
I don't care how freaking cool you are. If you want to rev your truck and drink your beer, do it.
Yeah.
Because you have the right. But those rights can be taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And if we keep going the way we're going. Yeah.
What's Daniel whispering in the background?
Daniel, get your face up there. You can talk on here too.
What is it, Daniel, that you want to say?
I just keep putting words in her mouth. No, I'm not really.
What'd he say?
Things.
He's whispering things for me to say.
Oh, okay.
I'm passing my points along.
Oh, wait a minute, Daniel. You accused me of being the
I'll be right
puppeteer
back
the other
again.
day.
Sorry for the issue.
Where did Deb go?
I think she has something else going on again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Daniel accused me of being the puppeteer the other day. Now he's the puppeteer. Except for she's not listening. And neither did Barry, to be honest. Yeah, so, you know, I feel like that you're probably too young. I think the movie was called Network, where they all opened their windows and screamed, "I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm tired. I'm not going to take it anymore." Something like that. It was a really famous movie. I think it was called Network. But that's the way I feel like we ought to all fling open our windows and scream, "I'm not taking this anymore." I don't know what good that would do, but.
It was really nice at the parade because I mean, it's so easy in Northern Michigan to lose hope, because I look at the comments on Facebook and it's just discouraging and it's disheartening and it's disgusting, the things that people say and the things that people think are okay. And it's very easy to feel like you're one tiny blue dot in a red ocean.
Right.
But I think that is just that those people are so loud. And we need to be loud, because at that parade, Jocelyn Benson walked by, Dana Nessel walked by, Betsy Coffia walked by, and they got applause, and people were yelling, "Thank you." and they had standing ovations, and it was amazing. And Daniel and I both were just like, wow, this is great. And then we see Wayne Schmidt come by and Jack O'Malley come by, and we're like, oh, how's this going to go? Silent.
Silence.
Not a clap, not a cheer, nothing. Like, you could see Wayne Schmidt was walking, and he's like trying to walk up to people, and they're just like dead stare at him.
And isn't it interesting that even that is more respectful than what we would get marching in the other side?
Oh, yeah.
At least we were silent. At least they were just silent.
Yep.
Can you imagine the other side?
Absolutely. But that was that kind of renewed my hope and renewed my faith that maybe, Traverse City is considered to be more inclusive, and I don't always feel that it is. But I think, like I said, I think that's because the people who aren't are so much louder.
Mm-hmm. And they must have a lot of friggin' time on their hands to just go through social media and attack anybody that's got a different view than they do.
Yep. Yeah. So I think we
must
need
be unemployed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Must be living off the system, as they would say, all that stuff that they
not pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. But it's a special circumstance for them.
Right. Yeah. I even on the Everett page, we had someone the other day say, and this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but somebody asked about if you have a above the ground pool that's 30 inches, do I have to have a fence around it, or do I have to have something else? And somebody commented, oh, why don't you just go lay face down in the pool and call me in the morning? And I thought, Jesus, can't we be nice?
Of all things, a pool.
Asking, what do I need to have? And then I said, of course, don't try to answer on there, but all I said was I agreed with someone that said that's not necessary. That wasn't necessary. And then he came on and said something to me, and he said, maybe not, but any pool needs a fence because of children and stuff. And I said, and that's the answer you should have given her in a kind way, because she was asking for advice and you could have been kind.
Yeah. And sadly, we're seeing that on all of these community sites anymore.
Yeah.
Just waiting for somebody to say something so you can be attacked. Like,
we
have people that ask for milk once in a while. Barry and I'll go get the milk. We take it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you freeloader, and get a job, and don't walk in their shoes. You don't get to.
They aren't walking in their shoes. It's
embarrassing enough to go on a social media and ask for a gallon of milk for your kids.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's better than walking into a store and having to steal it.
Right.
But if that's what they had to do for their kids.
Exactly. And if they're taking advantage of me, oh, well, it was $3.
A gallon of milk. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
People. Oh, I just can't.
Just be nice. Yeah. Can't
do 3 nice things for somebody tomorrow. 3 small little things. Like, all it has to be is like, oh, that picture you posted of you was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Or it doesn't take any money or really any time.
Right.
Just do 3 nice things.
Yeah.
And be careful what you say to people. People are hurting right now. People are vulnerable.
Yeah.
They don't need extra criticism.
Right. People are scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And times are tough.
Mm-hmm.
Times are really tough. I don't know if you guys remember, but I know when I first got on like Facebook and all of that, there were a lot of sites that did like the pay it forward. Do something, even if it's something very small, like telling someone you look very nice today, or whatever it might be. But do at least something kind in a day, and then post that you did something. You don't want to talk about what you did because that kind of takes away.
Right.
Then you're doing it to say, oh, I did this.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. But that was like the norm. You don't see that stuff anymore.
I know. And I know it sounds old and old-fashioned, but do you guys remember, Stephanie may not, where if somebody moved in, you took a casserole over, or if somebody passed away, you took a casserole over, or
a cake, or
cookies, or anything. That
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Our neighbors brought us cookies when we moved into our house here.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, their kids came over and brought us some cookies. And then at Christmas this past year, because, you know, Madison started making dog treats that she sells.
Right.
And so at Christmas, we went around to the neighbors that we knew had dogs, and we took them dog treats. And I think only one was excited, and then the other ones were just confused. They didn't really know what was going on.
Deer in the headlights.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, thanks.
Do you guys remember Welcome Wagon?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't think, is the Welcome Wagon even still in existence?
Don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It used to be you get coupons and little gifts and, you know, all
Yeah,
that.
when you left the hospital talking about having babies, you'd get a bunch of diapers and, you know,
some formula, all that stuff to get you started.
we need to get,
these are so different.
we need to be a tribe again. I mean, it's hard when you do have a newborn, you come home and you have to cook, and, you know, if you could have a casserole delivered a couple nights,
yeah,
stuff like that is great. Or if you just broke your arm. Did you guys, are you guys friends with Gay? Oh shoot, she fell off a ladder, and she usually has purple hair. She's a psychic. Man, she had some severe injuries. I'll have to send it to you. And I just wondered how she was, because I think she lives alone. And I was just wondering, how is she going to get, how, you know, it's broken arm, broken ribs. How do you go home and function?
Yeah.
Unless you have a support system. And I don't know, she may have. I just saying, it made me think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Hannah. Oh, you already put it up there. I got to stop doing it. Okay. I remember Hannah was born. People brought dinners. Yeah. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. That's how it used to be. And that's how it really should be.
Yeah. The tribe.
Because we are, you know, we're a big tribe, a big community.
And if you know somebody's struggling with an unwanted pregnancy, reach out. Even if you just go out and listen to them and let them figure it out. But I mean, you could help them, but I mean, if they're struggling with those feelings, you know, just be there for them.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's definitely time that the female species, you know, bonds and sticks together and supports one another.
Yep. We need to be a coven.
Yeah, we do, because we haven't, you know, we really haven't had that in a long time. So a big universal coven.
Yep.
We all work together and make things right again.
Yeah.
You know, make the world a more loving place. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
And I think as mothers and females, we do have that compassion, even if the people are on the other side. I remember when Barrett got put into the Supreme Court, or was getting ready to, and we were in Washington marching, and we came upon a anti-abortion that we took over. but there was these little girls, probably Madison's, maybe a little bit older than Madison, holding fetal pictures in their hands. And here's all these people screaming at them, my body, my right, all that stuff. And that, you know, that they put these girls there because, first of all, they weren't brave enough to be there, the adults. Right. And that, but my heart went out to those scared little girls standing there with those pictures, even though they were awful pictures and I didn't agree with what they were saying. But these were just children that were placed there.
Yeah.
And I there was part of me that just wanted to protect them because all these angry people are screaming at them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a balance. It really is.
But how sad that adults would do that to kids.
Yeah, that's awful.
Well, got a story. My ex-husband was Catholic, and he took my youngest out and was doing an anti-abortion protest and hung my little guy was so little that he hung a sign around his neck and made him march for the anti-abortion. Oh, can you imagine how angry I was? Have you actually seen smoke coming out of my ears before? Let's just say he never did it again.
I'll bet.
I wouldn't want you mad at me.
Kind of hard to with 2 broken legs.
I think his balls are still in my pocket. Sorry. But how dare he? How dare him? I mean,
Yeah. Right.
Can't.
Yeah, but it's done and over with.
Yep.
Thank goodness. But I don't know.
So what's next? What's next?
Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here?
I think that everybody just needs to keep vocal.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to keep united, especially as women. Now my husband's at the door.
You're just not catching a break tonight, Deb.
Yeah, and I come to the store to do the shows because it's peaceful here, right?
Yes.
Not so much.
I come to my RV.
When they all know I'm here.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, I think that, we, in 3 weeks, what you said before the show, Beth, is it's like it's losing its urgency.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that too. It's like nobody seems to care.
It scares me.
It scares me because
I love all of our comments, but think of how many comments we had the first time we came on.
Right.
How many people?
Yeah.
We love that you guys are here, though.
Right.
I'm
But
proud
now
of you.
America has gotten to the point where we're just so used to trauma.
Yep.
And bad things happening.
It doesn't have the shock factor anymore.
Right. I don't know about you guys, but when I think about Ukraine, I still cry a lot.
It's still happening.
What's going on there?
Yeah.
And I get so upset because it seems like everybody has forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want people.
Well, we don't care about those children.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Right.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get what you mean. So, I think that we have to keep it alive. I don't know if you guys want to continue doing a show a week.
I think we have to. I think we're hypocrites if we don't. Sorry.
Right.
We do.
It'll get to the point where nobody's listening.
So maybe that should be the next show title. Where do we go from here?
Right.
Yeah, you're right, Stephanie. The original outrage on Facebook post, and now it's...
And then they move on. Yeah. And that's...
Desensitized.
Yeah.
You know who I blame? Sesame Street.
Damn it.
Because
Big Bird.
Sesame Street did those 3-minute things that kept your attention only for 3 minutes, and and our kids were raised on that.
Yeah. Well, I blame it on...
Damn you, Big Bird.
That, because things happen here so often. It's like shootings.
We don't get a break from it.
We don't get a break. It happens every day. So people are walking around with blinders on and kind of numb to it because it happens every day.
And it's a survival technique. If we let every tragedy get to us, we'd be more broken than we already are.
Yeah.
The state of the world is depressing without having every single shooting. There's been so many more shootings than have been on the news, or so many whatever than have been on the news. And I think it's a coping mechanism that we kind of shut things out after a while.
Yeah, not to get into it, but Deb just had one locally. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. A man shot his soon-to-be ex-wife. her son and her mother,
Mhm.
and then himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a huge tragedy. But
That's why I wish Men's Corner would go on about. I guess we could.
well, yeah, we
Yeah.
need to let
It'd
Men's
just be up
Corner
to
do what
them.
they want to do. We are
Yeah.
not associated.
Right. They
We're
can
the
just do what they want to do. Well, I know Barry wants to. It was such a busy week last week for everybody with the Cherry Festival and
Well, it's that time of year. We have
Yeah.
events coming up. We have things going on. It is busy, but we can't let some of these important topics.
we can't let it stop us.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that we talked before the show about getting back to Lost Souls
Mm-hmm.
and doing some more shows on missing cold cases.
And we're going to do some local ones this next,
Yeah.
probably next week, are we thinking?
Well, yeah, I will get that set up, but
Okay.
then we can announce it. But people
Okay.
can stay tuned for that and for more of these. And I'll tell you, I really, every week we post, we would love people to come on here and have your say.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is there anybody we could have on that could help us with where we go from here? I mean, one of our representatives would be great if we could get them to come on.
Right.
And I'm not saying they're the saviors, because we, the people, really have to be the ones that save ourselves. But it'd be nice to have somebody on that maybe had some extra insight.
Good idea. So that's something we can work on this week.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? We have to keep moving forward.
Right.
So.
And the things we've said are valuable. Let's call, email Congress people and senators and representatives,
governors, and
vote, and go to rallies or marches when you can, things like that. But and keep having shows, keep having your voice heard on Facebook. So those are a handful of things we can do in the meantime. But maybe run for office, maybe go to those city council meetings, maybe.
Right.
There's got to be more. There's got to be more we can do. And I think a lot of people are going to say to us, the vote's going to be the most important, but I can't wait till November. I don't know about you guys.
Right.
I just think that's
we can't sit back and say and do nothing until November.
Right.
That's not possible.
If nothing else, we got to work on people's campaigns that will be running in November to help them get elected. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe all of it, huh?
Right.
What do you think, Steph?
I think education and information is going to be our saving grace in all of this. A lot of people don't know where to get information or how to get information.
Right.
So I think if we keep putting that out there of how to contact your state representatives, how to find out who your representatives are, how to find out what people, what stances people are taking that are running for office. I think that's going to make the biggest steps that we need to make.
Right. And find out where your state stands
on these issues.
Right. Yeah. Because, we showed that map at the beginning.
A lot of red.
There's a lot of red. And then there's the brown. And then, people are going to be so confused.
Yeah.
And the only way.
Well, and there's so many contingencies, and if it's this situation, then it's this, and if it's this situation, then it's that, and it's very muddled and confusing. Yeah. And so I think being able to get information to people who may not know where to look for it is going to be important for us to do.
Right. And please don't remain silent.
No.
If people are talking and thinking you agree with them, it looks like it does look like agreement.
Mm-hmm.
even if you have to say it in the most loving way you can say it, I don't agree with that. Or we should, maybe this isn't the place for us to discuss that because I'm in disagreement with it. People need to be held accountable for stuff they spew. And then, we've been taught to stay sweet, but it's time, that time over of staying sweet is over.
Right.
And if you have to say it in a loving way, you can do it. But be firm. Be firm that you will not listen to this garbage.
Yeah.
That time for silence is over.
It's time to take away their safe spaces. They have these safe spaces where they feel like it's okay for them to talk like this, and we need to make it so it's not okay for them to be that way.
It reminds me of back when there was a lot of jokes about certain populations, and people would just listen to the joke and then either kind of laugh or what, No, I remember starting to call out people on it. I remember how hard it was to say it's not funny and I'm not listening to you. It's how dare you? How dare you say that? Right. And it was uncomfortable, especially like in a party setting where everybody's telling jokes and all that stuff. And
sure.
No, this is not appropriate. I'm sorry, even blonde jokes are not appropriate.
Right.
Sorry.
No, they're not. It's all discrimination.
Right.
And it's all that superiorities, crap. No, it's not okay. And we won't go back.
Nope.
As wonderful as I made my parents sound, they had where they would use certain words.
Sure.
And, I had to call them out on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
I did too. Mm-hmm.
And then they ended up, voting and loving President Obama. So it all worked out, but it took a while, and it's that instilling that they had. Not making excuses of them. They were adults. They could have made different choices, but
Well, people are, until slapped in the face or faced with something, people are typically a product of their environment. That's why these cycles are so hard to break.
And I'll be truthful. I'm old. I say dumb old things sometimes.
Sure.
And I was slapped in the face not too long ago when I said something about Oriental. And my son was like, Mom, you don't say that. And I was like, what? I didn't know it wasn't proper.
Right.
But that's the important thing is you learn. You take that experience, and then from now on, you learn and you make an effort to exactly. Not do it. That's the difference. We all make mistakes. We all say dumb things. It's how you act after the fact.
And that was your point perfectly about education. He educated me really quickly.
Yep. I have a few kids that do that with me too. And I, even though sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't believe you talked to me like that. I'm grateful to have them help me with this because
sometimes you don't even think. I'm sorry, you don't. It never occurred to me that was not appropriate.
Right. And again, we're a product of our environment.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things that are very inappropriate were the norm.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, we have that trouble with Native American.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Indian? Is it Native American?
Right.
Please don't say squaw. Let's do a little education right now. Squaw is a horrible word. It's as bad as the C word for white people.
Right.
So there's your education tip for today. Do not say that. Or don't say Indian princess. There was no Indian princesses.
Right. Right.
So
that's how we all learn.
Your 2-minute lesson for today.
Yep, that's how we all learn.
Yeah.
But it's time for everybody to wake up and, we all need to go back to school and learn this stuff. And we need to learn that we all have the right to our own bodies. We're crying out loud again. Yeah.
Deja vu all over again.
I mean, it's almost exhausting thinking about it.
It's exhausting. It's depressing. It's gut wrenching.
Right. With all the other problems that we have, especially in this country, but the whole world, the whole planet is in crisis. And
the Supreme Court put their energy on something else.
Yeah. I mean, why? Why do this now?
Because the Republicans, promised it. And they wanted to deliver.
Yeah, it's control and power.
Even though 70-some%, even those on the other, even Republicans think that law was good. No, we got to let that 30% or even less than 30% have their way.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
See, next week we should have Stephanie come on and talk with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm for that.
Hard for me to see this, but
we do need to have some grace with places and each other. We can't know all things. That's true. When we know better, we can do better, having open hearts. And Stephanie, I won't lie to you. I'm struggling with that. I know that I want to get back to the loving ways. And I've had some hard lessons with that lately. I had someone coming to get a reading that I knew had opposing views. And I just dreaded it. I knew we weren't going to talk about it, but I still dreaded it. And it turned out this person was the nicest person. And I just really connected with this person. And I was sorry I had prejudged it. And I kind of
But again, you learned. That's the important part, is you learned.
Right. Yeah. And that's the only way we can stop the division, is to learn that even though we have, different beliefs and opposing views, we are all humans.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have feelings, and we all have the right to be who we are. I don't agree with some of them, but,
Well, it's kind of like you are what you eat. You are what you take in.
Mm-hmm.
If the people around you all have this belief system, and you're listening to certain news outlets that has that same belief, and you're just being fed that constantly.
Right. And some people truly have never even heard the other side.
Mm-mm.
Now, I'm one of those. I'm a weirdo. I don't like television. I don't like news, but I make myself tune into, the opposing, like Fox News, CNN, NPR. I want to get the middle of the road. I want to hear both sides. I want to know what's being said and thought on all sides.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I pick one side and I close everything off from the other side. We can't learn that way.
Right.
But
I do little snippets, but I can't. I couldn't put that channel on my TV. But I do, like you guys know, I do a lot of YouTube. So I do see little snippets. I'll watch them just to see what it usually makes me angry. But yeah, I will.
Yeah, I do a lot of YouTube as well. And I'm a big, my child turned me on to the Young Turks.
Oh yeah, I love them.
Yeah, so
they're pretty unbiased on both sides. They'll tell you when each side screwed up.
Oh yeah. It
doesn't
pissed me off more than once.
Yeah.
Or BBC would be another good one.
Oh, I love BBC. Yeah.
Not BBC America.
No,
straight
no,
BBC.
BBC.
I do that as well, because
they can't be biased. If they're found to be biased, they get fined, and they'll have their licensing taken away.
I think it's the French channel, but it's in English. The Barry watches, and they're really good too. I mean, you need to hear what the rest of the world is saying too.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a dog in the fight. So
Right.
they're reporting from a different viewpoint than we are getting usually. So yeah, there's a lot. And back in the day when we were growing up, we didn't have all these different channels. We didn't have YouTube. We were pretty well protected, if you want to call it that. Insulated. So this is new to us to have all this being bombarded with all this too, all these
It's
different.
all right at our fingertips now.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even have internet growing up, Beth. We had, 9 and 10 news or 7 and 4 news, or for me, it was the Detroit. We had Channel 50.
And then sometimes, if you were the kid, you had to stand there with the antenna and the foil.
Oh, yeah.
And move it back and forth. And
Yeah.
you were the remote control.
Right.
Get up and change that channel. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Stephanie, how limited we were to our environment.
And a phone that you couldn't detach from the wall.
Oh, yeah. And believe me, my father knew how to do it.
Did he?
And didn't have any problem with it.
Detach the phone from the wall?
Unplugging it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it hung on the wall and it had a long cord, so I would take the cord around the corner and go down to the basement steps if the party line wasn't using it.
Yeah, you had to wait and see, and you could always listen to what they were saying.
So we talked about stuff, and my dad would say, "You're 5 minutes past bedtime." Okay, I'll be off in a minute.
You didn't get a phone call or a visitor during dinner. That was a big no-no.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, I was happy for that long cord. Got a little bit of privacy. Not much. I had 2 short rings. What did you have to pick up?
2 short and a long.
Oh, okay. Ours was just 2 short rings.
But it was a 3-party line. Yeah.
Oh, 3. Ours is only 2, I think.
It was crazy. I hated it.
I know.
Of course, teenagers in all the houses, so
yeah.
We were always fighting over.
But we were also, we sound so old. We were also outside playing ball until it was dark.
Right.
Or climbing trees or,
Yeah.
We were having fun.
Right. But we were like way off topic and.
What's new?
Maybe we should, end the show.
Wrap it up.
And,
all right.
Decide if we're going to go on next week.
Yeah, and maybe expect that we'll have some more thoughts about solutions or directions we can go in.
Yeah.
At least thoughts on the subject.
Right.
Hopefully have somebody come on that inspires us. Not that you guys don't inspire me, you do. And
right.
Especially the people in the comments, they really inspire me. So
I know. I love the people comment and make the comments. So I think Stephanie might be the only one left, but we thank all of you, Nicole and Nancy and Howie
and anybody who watches in a replay.
Melinda and Shauna. I mean, they were here for a minute. I really wanted them to come on because I know that they could have great things to say, but another time.
The little devil on my shoulder over here who's been whispering to me all night.
The little puppeteer.
Yeah. Next week, we're going to have to stick his face in front of the camera.
Yep.
Yeah, this isn't women only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can come on.
Maybe next week Ray will be on as well.
Right.
So
and we'll cameraman, I'm surprised cameraman didn't show up. He showed up last night.
Right. Yeah, no cameraman, no Dagger.
Yeah.
All
right.
Maybe we're boring people.
I don't think
people
so.
We're on to the next. So
people have busy lives.
Yeah.
I've been entertained.
We couldn't even hear you, mumbler.
He said he's been entertained.
Oh, good. Okay.
That's all that matters.
All right. Well, I'll put my soapbox away for one night. And
We'll be back in our soapboxes again. We always have more to say.
oh, Crystal says, sorry I missed it. Just tune in. Hey, you can watch it on replay.
Aww.
Dan said you need a low
Yeah.
soapbox so you don't fall.
I'd still fall. I would still fall. Come on, let's be honest.
Be nice, Daniel.
He knows. He knows me. All right. Well, you guys, sorry about the screw up with the Skinwalker show, but we'll do it eventually.
Yeah.
Kind of glad to hear there's a few more episodes.
I'm very glad.
Yeah.
Very
okay,
glad.
we're off subject again. Sorry.
Yes, we are. So we're going to end the broadcast. Everybody have a great night. Tune in again next week. And in the meantime, don't shut up.
Don't shut up.
Right. Don't shut up. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.